to Abby's Destinations on CVB Radio, El Club de la Vida Buena. This program is going to be all in English for you people to enjoy listening to English, people who want to learn, and also for all you native English speakers out there who enjoy listening to programs about travel and beautiful new destinations. This week, I've decided to concentrate on India, but every week we will be touching on loads of different aspects of the country, anything from its culture, its gastronomy, places to visit, all sorts of things. This week, for India, we have a special guest. We have Fatima Khatun, who moved from India, from Delhi, about 7 months ago. And she's going to be telling us some things about her country. First of all, I'm just going to, for people who haven't visited India before, I'd like to just touch on some ideas of places that you could visit. If you don't know the country, a good starting point, in my opinion, could be the famous Golden Triangle. You could start with Delhi and then head towards Agra, which is the beautiful, wonderful place where the Taj Mahal is located. Now, the Taj Mahal, I have to say, it doesn't matter how many beautiful photos you've seen of this, or paintings, or anything else, it will blow you away. It will wow you. It's amazing. It will make your hair stand on end, and I promise you, you will never forget seeing it. So promise me that you will make that one of your stops. Now, after Agra, you could carry on to Jaipur in Rajasthan, but make a stop en route at Fatehpur Sikri, which is a romantic, deserted city. So let's have a chat now with Fatima, our guest. Fatima, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Hi, Abby. Thank you so much for calling me.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Same here.
So let's start by telling our listeners a little bit about Indian culture. Can you just give us a little bit of a feel for the Indian culture, to tell people who don't know anything about India yet?
Sure. So, as people might have heard, India is a most secular country. So the culture is basically, because of that reason, it is integrated with different kinds of people, their customs, their traditions. So it is all it's because of the different backgrounds, different religions, and everything integrate together, and that makes it a very beautiful and a different experience altogether. So first, if I talk about the culture, it's you see variations from people to people. It's like being a huge country, you can see difference in the culture from the north and the south, from east and west. So there's lots of variations. If I talk about Delhi, it's more of a metropolitan city, so it has a cosmopolitan kind of a culture. But when you move to deep into rural areas, they have different opinions about life. They have different they are very different. They are not very cosmopolitan, but yeah, they are more rooted to their cultures.
Do they travel much, the people from the smaller villages, or do they tend to stay in their villages?
No, they prefer staying to their own villages. They prefer staying to their own amongst their own people. Yeah, what would drive them to go out would be the earning or to work, but they would more often want to stay with their people itself. Mm-hmm. So it's it will be different. If I talk about family structure, so the family structure yet in India is strong knitted families. You find there's more concept of a joint family over there.
Like in Spain, the Spanish families tend to be very united.
Okay, so it's the same in India as well. This is the thing which India is known about, the traditions and the family values and cultures. Mm-hmm. And then they have, if you talk about the language, they have different languages as well. They have somewhere around 22 official languages.
It's amazing.
And dialects is like 1,600 plus.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
It's always said that after every 10 kilometers in India, the dialect changes. So you can imagine how many dialects there would be.
That's amazing.
So it's like that.
So you were originally from Bihar. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, it's Bihar.
My pronunciation.
It's Bihar. I can understand
okay.
that.
And whereabouts is Bihar? Is it a small place? Where is it located?
Yes, so it's on the eastern side, like northeastern part of, like if I talk about making Delhi as a center, it's on the northeastern side of Delhi. And like it was a huge state earlier, but now that they have like divided a little like into Jharkhand and Bihar, so yet it is like, it accommodates lots of people. As you know, the population of India is the second largest.
Amazing.
So it's like
I actually once read, which I think is one of the main reasons that I adore India so much and highly recommend that our listeners, if they haven't been there before, that they must visit India. It's considered to be the most diverse country in the world, which is what you've just been touching on, but in almost every category, which is incredible. Culturally, economically, climatically speaking, racially, linguistically, ethnically, and religiously. So I think that's one of the things that makes India so amazing and so eye-opening to visit. There's just so much to see and learn about the culture. So, listen, can you tell me a little more about the country's religion? Because I know that this is a very interesting subject as well. There are many different religions in India.
Yeah, so it has many religions. So, like, it is the biggest secular country, I must say, on that. And, like, the major religions are, like, first is the Hindus, who are the 80% of the population.
80%?
Yeah, it is 80%. And then is the Muslim religion, which contributes to 13% of the population. But going by the numbers and the count, it is like the third largest Muslim population in the world. So, and then you have Christianity, and there is Sikh. There are other variations of Hinduism, like they have Buddhism, Jainism, and they have there are Zoroastrians. So if you can see, like there are many religions, and everyone are all together, like they stay together, celebrate each other's festivals, and it's like amazingly.
That's
like,
amazing.
The unity is amazing.
Something to learn from.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have been reading some articles that there are 300,000 active mosques in India, which is actually more than in any other country, including the Muslim world, which is amazing. So many.
Yeah, if I talk about Delhi itself, the place where I used to stay, that was South Delhi, it had 1,600 mosques over there.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is. So it had 1,600. So just talking about a small area over there.
Gosh.
So
it really is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on now to tell our listeners about the top places. Let's focus on Delhi. Can you tell us about the top places that you recommend visiting in Delhi?
Yeah, sure. There are many. Delhi has amazingly beautiful architecture, mosque, temples. You have everything over there to see. So if I talk about, the first and foremost would be India Gate to go. So it's a war memorial basically for the soldiers who lost their life in World War I. And the interesting thing about the India Gate would be that it has the names engraved on it of the soldiers who lost their life. And just to mention, they have the Britishers as well on that. There's some servicemen who lost their life in the World War.
Wow, so it's a very interesting monument.
Yeah, so it has those names as well on that.
Whereabouts in Delhi is the India Gate located?
It is in the central part. It is exactly in the central part. When from the India Gate, you can see the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is the President House of India. So it's a straight road, and you can when it's like less traffic, or rather no traffic, then it is amazingly beautiful. The view is awesome.
How lovely. How lovely. So definitely a place for our listeners to visit when they go to Delhi.
Yeah.
And where else? Let's move on to another place that you recommend.
Then one could go to a Lotus Temple. It belongs to the Baha'i religion, and it is like the serenity and tranquility. It's known for that. So it's like.
Is it like a park?
It has a park. It is like the Opera House of Sydney. It is a flower-shaped.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it is flower-shaped, and it's like you can go there. There's a park, and the best thing is that all the places, like these places wherever you talk about in Delhi, are well connected with metros. So people won't even find it difficult to reach to these places. So,
do you recommend traveling by metro or by tuk-tuk or?
No, in Delhi it would be preferred because now the metros are well connected. Now Delhi is well connected with metros. So I would recommend to go by metro because you would evade traffic in that way.
Of course.
And
traffic, I imagine, is a big problem in Delhi, is it?
Yeah, and that's the reason that our current chief minister, he tried with the odd even number of the cars. So
I heard about that. Yes, tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so it's like today, if it's an even number, so the digits ending with even number would have their cars on the road today, and the next day it would be the odd numbers turn. So that way you are like cutting down half the traffic.
That's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
So did it work?
It did work, but that was like a pilot kind of a thing.
Okay.
So like they are trying to look upon it that they
interesting.
can carry forward.
Okay, let's move on to some more places for our listeners to visit.
Then there is the Akshardham Temple, it's a recent monument. It's not very old. It just started in 2005, but it is very, very beautiful. It has lots of gardens, and the one thing that Akshardham is like, it is the build of the Akshardham is as per the Vastu Shastra. Vastu Shastra is the way the Chinese do in Feng Shui, the way so that you get like peace and happiness and love, which all contributes to that. Yeah,
lovely concept.
Yeah, it's true though. And then they have certain shows in it, which is like the Shahjana Darshan. Then there is Anilkand Darshan. There's Sanskriti Darshan. So all these things are like programs which they have. But for that, you need to please check on the website what are the timings. They actually tell.
Is it easy to find this kind of information on the website?
Yeah, they have their own website.
Okay.
Akshardham Temple has
Great.
their own
website. So if they
website.
just Google the name, then they can get all the information.
You get all the information.
And do you need to generally buy tickets in advance for these kind of places to visit them? Or book or...
Not really. You can get it over there, but yeah, it is always recommended to book online if you have an option.
Okay.
But that won't be a problem if anyone just misses out on the bookings.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know. And next place.
Then there is like there is one Gurudwara, a very big. The Sikh religion has their worship place called Gurudwara. So there is.
I won't try and pronounce that. So I certainly won't be able to say it as beautifully as you can.
So it's like the Bangla Sahib. It's again, it is in the center. It's in CP itself. So, and it was built for the 8th Guru. Like the Sikhs followed. They had gurus like their leaders, and this was built on for the 8th Guru, who was Guru Har Krishna. So, and it is amazingly beautiful. And you need to cover. Everyone needs to cover their hair and.
To be able to enter there.
To be able to enter that place. So it is one to see kind of a thing.
Okay, another must-see place for our list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have the Qutub Minar. So it was like built by Qutubuddin Aibak, and it is very beautiful. It is like 120 meters tall.
Wow.
The minaret is 120 meters tall, and it is the tallest brick minaret in the world.
Beautiful. That's impressive.
That is. So one should go and see that.
So it's another must-see place on our list. Just for the listeners to know, what I will do is I'll send on my blog, I will put a list of these wonderful places which Fatima is very kindly telling us about for you to investigate and prepare your trip. And another thing, if you would like help planning your trip, then please contact Ausventura. It's ausventura.com. from the travel agency. And Angel Tendero will be more than happy to help you plan any of your trips, not just to India, but anywhere else you may wish to visit. So let's carry on back to Delhi now, and we'll carry on talking about some more must-see places.
Yeah, and then there was the Red Fort.
The famous Red Fort.
The famous Red Fort. So it's been the residence of the Mughal Empire for more than 200 years.
It must be beautiful.
So it is, and it's made up of red sandstone. The whole building is made up of red sandstone, and till date it is like the Prime Minister of the country hoists the Indian flag over there. So it's a must.
So it's a very special place.
It is. It is a very special place, and it is a must see because of its beauty, because of the historic values, and because it is a treasure to eye when you see that. So it's really nice. So Red Fort would be one more place to go. And apart from that, there is one more Humayun's tomb over there. This tomb was basically built for Akbar the Great's father, Humayun. So, and it is amongst the UNESCO's heritage. So it's amongst the list. So it is like preserved by UNESCO. So one needs to visit that.
It's very interesting.
Exactly.
Okay, an important place.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anywhere else you'd like to tell us about in Delhi, or should we move on a little bit to talk about other things?
Then there are it is huge. Delhi is huge and it has so much history that it has so many places to go. Then there would be there are certain gardens like the Lodi Gardens, which has
Lodi Gardens. Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard about them. What are they famous for?
First, they have a lavish garden. It's beautiful and sprawling greenery and stuff. And apart from that, it has many tombs in it. Like it has the Lodi dynasty, which once ruled India. Their rulers, they have their tombs were built over there. Or not to forget, there is the tomb of Muhammad Shah. Then the Sikandar Lodi's tomb. Then there is the Shisha Gumbad. Gumbad would be the dome. So
the dome, okay.
Yeah. So it has very big, huge dome. So it has the ancestral value plus architectural value over there.
Beautiful.
So yeah. So it is.
So there's a lot to appreciate in this place.
Definitely.
Lovely. Okay. Can you tell us a bit about the climate in India?
So India is a subcontinent. It is huge. So you don't have one kind of a climate. It varies from place. So if I talk about South, it has a tropical climate, which is quite like hot and humid. Then if you go to the northern part, like the Himachal and
further north in Delhi.
Further north about the country. If you go to further north, it is very cold, and especially at times it do snow over there.
Is it cold all year round, or
no? It is cold. Like temperature is down all the year round, but it wouldn't be freezing cold. So then again depends. Like if you are into the glaciers, like further very north, then it is cold throughout the year.
Okay.
And then if like the western part, the Western Ghats, where the Thar Desert and things, it's very hot and dry.
So it's a huge variation of climate throughout the country.
Yeah, true. And
so depending on where you want to visit, you need to really think about which time of the year would be best to visit.
Yeah, definitely.
But if, for example, our listeners wanted to do the Golden Triangle, which I mentioned earlier, so taking in Delhi, when would you recommend is the best month or months of the year to visit?
I would say when the advent of winters, that is November, December, early November, like late October, early December, between that.
Okay.
And then you can also visit after February and April, in between February and April, because after April, when May starts, it gets really hot over there.
And is it very humid as well?
Actually, Delhi sees all the 4 seasons. So it has winters, it has summers, it has monsoon, it has spring. So when it is when it is monsoon, it gets really humid, and when it is summers, the temperature reaches 48 degrees it could go to that extent.
Gosh, so it really gets very hot.
It's very hot.
So you want to perhaps be careful not to visit in the summer because it's pretty uncomfortable
At
for
least
a lot of sightseeing.
People from Madrid or Spain shouldn't.
From hot to hot. Hot to very hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. We've got a few more minutes left. So let's talk a little bit about gastronomy. Can you recommend any particular dishes of the region?
About Delhi, Delhi has, again, it has a cosmopolitan kind of people over there, so it has lots of cuisines. You can enjoy all kinds of cuisine over there, so depending on what's your taste. So you do get, like, from South India, they prefer more on the vegetarian side, which is dosa, sambar, so you do get that as well. Then if you go, if I talk about the northern part, they are more into curry and the bread which is termed as naan. So the
delicious naan bread.
Oh, you've tasted it. So,
I love it. I love Indian food. I think I love it because it's got such huge variations of flavors and spices and colors. It's just amazing. You can eat with your eyes as much as your taste buds.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not necessarily that if it has spices, it's going to be hot. It's the spices is for flavors. So it depends on how much chili you want in it.
Of course, how spicy you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So going by the fact that it has so many places to go, like so many places to dine or lunch. But yeah, Delhi street foods are really famous. One should always try kulcha and naan kulcha, chole over there. Then there are some chaat papris available as street foods as well. If you go to the old Delhi, there are famous paranthe. Paranthe would be the stuffed naan, if I talk about. They have a proper lane for that.
Wow,
with
amazing.
many people serving you with different kinds of paranthe.
And would you have brati, you call it, yeah?
Paranthe.
Baranti.
No, it's paranthe.
Brati.
Yeah.
Sorry, my pronunciation really is not good. Thank goodness Fatima's here. So would they normally eat that as just a snack, or is it always part of a main meal?
Yeah, it is it is preferred as a breakfast. But yeah, you can have it any time of the day whenever you like. But yeah, as for Indians, it is considered typically a breakfast.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And just a few other things which I think our listeners might want to know. We've touched on climate and the best times to visit. Would you say it's a safe destination for people of all ages? For example, people with small children?
I wouldn't say it is unsafe, but yeah, you need to be careful because you cannot expect like a female like going by herself at midnight. So you need to be careful when you are at that place.
But I suppose it's a little bit like any big city then. Are you talking about Delhi in particular, or are you talking generally traveling through India?
I'm talking about generally traveling throughout India. It's like you need to be a little more careful.
So it would be perhaps a good idea to get a guide to take you, a driver, for example, if you wanted to travel a little bit, from Delhi to other places nearby.
I would say you need to be careful in that as well when you're taking a guide, because you need to be like, it's a genuine person, the person is genuine, and the tourist, if you go through any tour travel agency and they are like a reputed one, then definitely then it is not you are not unsafe at all.
Of course,
in that case.
yeah. So I suppose it's like anywhere, really. You do need to watch that kind of thing. There's always going to be some companies you perhaps want to avoid. Thank you. And yes, places to stay. Where would you recommend our listeners stay? I've heard that there are some amazing palaces that you can stay in.
Yeah, but that would be in Jaipur. If we talk about the Golden Triangle, that the palace turned into hotels are
in Rajasthan.
In Rajasthan.
Okay.
So you have pretty much good options over there. Then if I talk about going to like Jaipur, if a person is traveling to Jaipur and they want to stay, they would want to experience Chowkidani, which is it is a mock of Indian village. The whole it gives you a feel of how an Indian village is, the colors, the people, the houses. So it gives you that feel over there. So if anyone is going there, I would definitely recommend to go and have a visit over there.
That sounds wonderful. Lovely place. So it's another place for our definitely must-see list.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said before, I will put this wonderful list that Fatima has so kindly given us on my blog so that you can all have very clear the places that you must visit. I think we're coming to the end of the program now, sadly. But I hope that all of you have enjoyed listening to Fatima telling us about her beautiful country. And I really, really hope that it's tempted you, this is my aim, to visit this incredible country of India. Have a great week, and I will be back again next week visiting some more wonderful places.